So then after two brilliant performances away from home for Bristol City, we're back at Ashton Gate as we welcome Bournemouth to BS3. And today I'm joined by Bournemouth fan Kirk to preview Wednesday night's game. So Kirk, thanks for joining me today. There's obviously 13 games left in the EFL Championship season. How have Bournemouth done so far then?
A blistering start at the start of the season, hit the ground running, and we were top of the league. We were right up there and looked like we were going to have a good season. We hit a bit of a stumbling block at the Christmas into January, and that coincided with us sacking our manager, Jason Tindall. Jonathan Woodgate's now come back in, sort of steadied the ship initially as caretaker manager, now in full-time head coach until the end of the season. Had a few difficult results at QPR. And we did lose 2 in a row, and then we've got back to winning ways, beating Watford at the weekend. So hopefully that's a stepping stone in the right direction.
Yeah, you've definitely been in and around that top 6 for the majority of the season. As you said, you obviously had that slip up during that winter sort of a period when there's a lot of games crammed in a short amount of time. But at the moment, you're 6th in the table with 13 games left, as I've already said. Do you think you'll be able to do it, get into the playoffs and possibly get back up to the Premier League and be playing in the Premier League next season?
So, yeah, we fell out the top 6 for the first time a few weeks ago. With the squad that we have and the talent within that team, we should be in the top 6. And arguably at the start of the season, you'd probably say we should have been in the top 2. But you can have the best players in the world, but if you don't play as a team, sometimes you don't get the results on the pitch. And that's what we haven't done enough. Hopefully, we've got a few additions from a coaching point of view as well, with Gary O'Neill and Joe Jordan joining the backroom staff, and we looked a lot better on Saturday, a lot more organised, and hopefully if we can get the best out of these players, Bournemouth should be in the top 6. Probably and going to have too much to do now to get in the top 2, but get to the playoffs. The playoffs is one of those lottery ticket moments, but if we can be good over 3 games, then there's an opportunity that we can get back to the Premier League.
Yeah, and definitely, as we've heard in the last few days, if we do get to playoffs, then obviously fans will be back in the stadium, so that can give every team a little boost, especially in that top 10 or 11 who are only a few points off that playoffs, to push on in these last few games of the season and try and push on to those playoffs. So both clubs, Bournemouth and Bristol City, have got a new manager in over the last few weeks. What can we expect from Bournemouth under the new reign of Jason Tindall?
Jonathan Woodgate, so obviously Jason Tindall.
Sorry.
That's right. But if you'd have watched our performances in the last few weeks, it was like Jason Tindall. So you probably wouldn't have known that we'd had a different manager. Jonathan Woodgate initially set up with a formation of 4 at the back, 2-3-1, a formation the fans were crying out for all season that Jason Tindall never played. But then he switched that up to play against QPR with a back 3, and he did the same against Cardiff. We would lose both football matches. He reverted back to a back 4 that got him the 2-3 wins under caretaker managerial role he had. And we got the result against Watford. So Jonathan Woodgate said he's going to stick with that formation between now and the end of the season, have some continuity so him and the players know what they're trying to achieve. So I'd expect a back 4 with probably a holding or 2 holding midfielders and some creative players on the pitch that can help us score some goals, hopefully. Yeah,
definitely. As you said there, you obviously got a very good squad that obviously we've seen in the Premier League and we've seen stay up in the Premier League for a good few years. But who should we look out for in Bournemouth's current squad then ahead of Wednesday night?
From an attacking point of view, Dom Solanke returned on Saturday. He scored 10 goals this season. He's been along with Junior Stanislas, who's had a good output of goals. So Junior also likes a penalty, so be careful making challenges around the box because Junior Stanislas does not miss penalties. They're definitely a goal threat. Danjuma, a player who can sometimes be frustrating in possession, especially if you push him out wide, can sometimes overdo it. If he can get in areas that can hurt Bristol City, he has that moment of magic where he'll come alive and score a goal in any second. He did that against Watford on Saturday, and he also did that against Bristol City in the first game between the teams earlier on in the season. So definitely a goal threat. We have no Jack Wilshere because he's suspended, got sent off at the weekend, but there's enough talent in that midfield with the likes of Jeff Lerma offering some attacking outlet where possible. We've also got the likes of Lewis Cook and Philip Billing has definitely turned his season around and been one of our top performers since Christmas.
Yeah, we've definitely seen, especially in the last few games, you've obviously got a few good standout players at Bournemouth. Moving on to how we can shape up then for Bristol City, we saw on Saturday against Swansea, Nigel Pearson start with that 5-3-2 sort of formation. At halftime, obviously saw it wasn't working, moved to a 4-3-3, and then went out and scored 3 goals. But how can we expect Bournemouth to line up on Wednesday?
Yeah, I expect him to go with what he went with on Saturday, which is a back four with our goalkeeper Asmir Begovic. I expect to see Lerma and Pearson start in front of those back four, given that protection. Pearson was man of the match, arguably, and I think he did get it with Sky Sports, and he got it across the fan base as well. Ahead of him, I expect Danjuma, Stanislas, and Solanke to be up top, and then it will either be Lewis Cook or Billing. Adding to that midfield ahead of Lerma or Pearson. Sam Surridge is another player as well, a young talent within our team. He's played in the Championship before at Swansea. He's made a difference when called upon this season, scoring some goals and assists. So be aware of Sam Surridge if he comes on. He presses very high up the pitch, and he's definitely a goal threat. He loves the 18-yard box.
Yeah, for Bristol City then I expect we'll probably go for the 5-3-2 as we did start off, but it wouldn't surprise me if Nigel Pearson does go for that 4-3-3, the attacking with Jeju in up top, and then Naki Wells on the right, I think it is, because when we turned to that half-time against Swansea, it was a brilliant performance from Naki Wells and from Jeju and Casey Palmer and behind them as well, and Semenyo when he came on as well to score a goal as well. But finally then, we'll see Bournemouth get back to winning ways last weekend against Watford. Bristol City as well, 2 wins away from home on the bounce. But they're coming back to BS3. Do you think Bournemouth will be able to get the 3 points and travel back to Bournemouth with 3 points?
I always believe in the boys. I always think we've got a good enough team to win most football matches in this league, but you have to turn up. The Championship has to be respected. One of our problems this year is not scoring enough early goals. We've only scored 2 in the first half in the last 10 or 11 games, I think, and we don't score goals or many in the first 20 minutes. Nigel Pearson, I assume, will set up to frustrate. He might put a low block in. If he does that, we have struggled to break teams down since December with teams that are set up with a low block. So that'll be interesting to see. The longer the game goes on, I think Bristol City will fancy their chances. A lot of teams have beaten us as the longer the games have gone on, and we've struggled to break teams down, and we've almost panicked, and we've given a lot of goals away through unforced errors. So there is a chance for Bristol City. I fancy the boys to perform well. I hope we have a good first half and we go in at least 1-0 up. I'm going to go for the Cherries for a Cherries win, Ben. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Bournemouth, but I think it'll be a tight affair. And with Pearson now at Bristol City, you're definitely going to be a better side than you probably was before he came in.
Yeah, definitely. We have been conceding a lot of goals before Nigel Pearson came in, and then obviously against Swansea on the weekend, Dan Bentley had a outstanding man of the match performance. And the defenders played very well. Zach Viner, Thomas Callas played brilliantly as well. I was saying to you off air, this is probably the first game in a long while that I've been quietly confident about. Definitely under Nigel Pearson, he's brought something into the club. We saw that against Middlesbrough, saw that against Swansea, and I think we could easily go out and get another win on the bounce, make it 3 out of 3 under Nigel Pearson. But then obviously Bournemouth, we saw them early in the season against Bristol City. They can just go out and get the win and break teams down. I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Bristol City win as well. We've obviously, with Naki Wells and Famara Jeju over the last few games, they've been on very good form as well. And Casey Palmer on the weekend came in as well. He was very, very good. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Bristol City win. But thanks for joining me today, Kirk.
No, good luck, Ben. Good luck to it all. I hope you enjoy the game, and hope the team play well for you, but hopefully a Cherries win for me.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully both teams can be up there in the end of the season. If we do miss out, then hopefully we'll be up there again next season. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Good luck for the rest of the season, Kirk, and for Bournemouth. Make sure to go and check out his Bournemouth fan channel. Link will be in the description. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully the Reds can make it 3 out of 3 under Nigel Pearson on Wednesday night. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Come on, you Reds.